Yes, hello. Let's do another Deadstick dispatch. I'm Jeff Sparks. I'm the design director at Mythwright. We're working on Deadstick Bush Pilot Simulator, recently rebranded. Today, I thought it would be fun to play through the opening minutes of the game, which should take us through to some flight school content and some of the lessons that are available there, the basic lessons for new players, and into the first license test. You get a commercial license fairly quickly in the game. So let's do this. So this is from the very beginning. We've done a couple play tests since we started, and we're so grateful to the community for playing and feeding back and letting us know what you like and what you don't like. And it's such a labor of love, and we really appreciate your time and attention to helping us make Deadstick a better game. So yeah, we're working hard on many aspects of the game, but let's get started. So yeah, this is the very first screen after you start a new game. Deadstick is an authentic flight simulator built around challenging open world flying. There are no shortcuts, no GPS, and no safety net. It's just you, your map, and the plane. Prepare accordingly, fly carefully, pay attention. Thank you for playing. And truly, thank you for playing. We start off in the office. You receive a message on your phone from Clint. So you're WWLF's newest pilot. Welcome to the family, I guess. I'm Clint. I'll be handling your onboarding. Let's make this quick. I've got things to do. First things first, go ahead and grab your insurance paperwork. I'm faxing it over now. You're covered for all the basics. Just don't push your luck. We're a business, not a charity. You can see this WWLF or Wolf. The Wolf insurance policy has full coverage for any cargo damage or any aircraft repairs, anything like that. And this sort of sets up a situation where you can feel free to learn the ropes here early in the game. So while you're working for Wolf, you have full coverage, as it were. You can see we've got radios in the offices now, tuned to simulator radio, which is nice. Also, so each of the briefing huts has oil for purchase, a fax machine, a register for paying your landing fees and such, a couch or a seat that you could sleep on if you need to pass time, although it's not activated right now. Time, which should sync up with the actual time of day in the game. A job board where jobs will populate in. Every day at midnight, you'll get new jobs. You can see our freight companies like ICS and Dashi Deliveries here. But while you're working for Wolf early in the game, that's not allowed. And yeah, probably the most important thing in here is the computer. You can access a couple different modules here. The one we're after right now is our weather report and our NOTAMs. We'll also intro the map to you at this point. So again, just to reinforce what's going on here, your location is shown only when on the ground. So you can see right now, we have the green marker that shows where the plane is. When airborne, you'll rely on analog navigation, which means it won't. We don't show you where you are on the map automatically. So you can use this cursor here to select the airport you're at currently. You can see we are at Jones. And if you press on that, it'll bring up a panel, our airport panel, that shows you everything about this location. So Jones is a minor airstrip in Waking, the game's first region. Opened in 1933, making it the island's oldest airstrip. You've got your frequencies here, and you've got a weather briefing with all the METAR and TAF data at all known airports. So right now, early in the game, you only know about a few airports here in Region 1. But as the game expands, you'll discover more and more bush strips, locations, airports, all over the place. So you can see it gives us this nice presentation that's kind of cleaned up. If you would like the authentic METAR, it shows you exactly how you would receive this information IRL. But if you hold it down, we clean it up for you and allow you to dig in a little deeper. So it tells you things like cloud cover, visibility, the wind, all kinds of useful stuff. But as the NOTAM say, it's open as usual, no wind shears, maximum gust speeds. So everything's all right here. And then you have information about runways at each place and some reputation data, which each location will track reputation independently. And we'll talk more about that some other time. But yeah, as you can see, you can get at your map anytime. But that's all we need to do in here for now. When on the ground, use the compass at the top of your screen to find your way around. You can see up at the top, shows you your cardinal directions. But it also marks useful things like the briefing hut, and for our current purposes, the location of Skywolf, our first borrowed aircraft. Little beeping sound telling me I've got a message to look at. Clint is saying, all right, go look for the hangar. There's a plane waiting for you. You can see there's lots of useful things on the tool wheel, and we'll get to a bunch of those as we go along. Right, so we're here at Jones. You can see the location in the top left corner. The stars beneath the name indicate your reputation here, which is currently nothing. You have no reputation here. It shows your pilot level in the top left corner, which is 0. It's almost 7:50 in the morning. I have about $2,000. It shows my cell phone reception and whether I have a message waiting. But yeah, you can see we can. There's a bunch of on-foot controls as well. You can walk normally. You can run, crouch, jump. Just some basic moving around. You can also get at the map from here. As you can see, we're kind of down in this southwest peninsula, and we're going to head up to Morton here momentarily. But a lot of the early game is kind of tooling around Region 1 here. This is Waking, this general part here. But as you can see, the island is quite enormous. You've got a few places called out, a few of the major hubs called out, got Eastal over to the east. But we'll spend most of our time here. Right, so let's get moving. You can see it's got the wolf branding on this plane. Since you don't own it, you can't change much about it. But that's just for the time being. Tow the plane out. And then we'll do the kind of like pre-flight check. I'll show that pre-flight check system here, which is optional at this stage because we start you with a plane that's in good condition. But as a feature, it's pretty cool, so we've got some time to walk through that, I believe. There it is. Plane in the box. Right, so on the tool wheel, you've also got this book on the southern direction here on the bottom. If you open that up, this is your flight check apparatus. You'll see you can switch between the different parts of the plane for inspection by moving up and down. For now, we'll start with the port side, and we'll inspect our brakes, tire. We'll check the water content in our fuel, which is 0%, which is great. We've got our wing here, perfect, 100% condition. You can also grab the parts and inspect them that way. Flaps, and we got this little element up front, the little stall warner. You'll hear a little warning if you're doing something you shouldn't be. Same on this side. %, water. We've got a tire. We've got brakes. Page 2. Start with the tail. A little walk around here. We've got the rudder. Tail wheel's a little tricky to grab right now. That seems all right. Got the starboard side. Propeller. You can also see it's got this green border on it. That means it's in very good shape. We've got everything in all the guts here. Let's see what's going on. We've got a starting motor. We've got our battery. We've got the drive belt. We can check the oil, which we pop out thusly. 3.6. Great, good for us. Got the filter. The air filter. Yeah. Alternator. Everything's in perfect shape, as expected. To get at this vacuum pump from this side, you can see all the spark plugs, 4 cylinders, and we'll close this up. And that's that. Oh, missed one. Yeah. Perfect. All right, so that's how the pre-flight check works. You can always inspect what kind of state your plane is in anyway, even if you aren't in that particular mode. You can go up to your propeller, kind of make sure everything's legit. But for now, let's get moving. Close the door, inspect the fuel gauge. I'll check my phone really quick before we get started. See what Clint has to say here. Time to make yourself useful. You're going to fly up to a place called Morton. Check your map. It's about 4 miles to the north. Big airport. Can't miss it. I guess I already spoiled that. But yeah, that's where we're going to go. Can also mess with my screen color. Why not? Beautiful. Look at this beautiful phone. That's still a work in progress. Right, so the fuel gauge, simple sight gauges show the current fuel level in each wing tank, one on each side. So you can see I've got my starboard. It's about half full, which should be about fine. And we've got one on this side, tank in each wing. Right. We got our master switch, which connects the battery and alternator to the main electrical system. It powers essential electrical items like lights and radios. Pop that on. We got the primer here. The plunger introduces a small, precise amount of fuel vapor directly into the engine cylinders. This makes the engine much easier to start from cold. So we'll give this 3. That's 1, 2, 3. We'll start it up. Right. So next we are going to set the throttle to open. It's right here. It's used to regulate engine power and speed. Moving it forward increases power for takeoff and climbing, while pulling it back reduces power for descent and landing. You can see I can manipulate this with the, I'm on an Xbox controller, but you can use the face buttons here, but I've also got it mapped to my shoulder buttons, so I don't have to be looking at it to manipulate my throttle. You can see we've also put a limitation on the throttle for this first taxi while we head to the runway. It's just down the way here. And you can see we're passing out of this busy area here at Jones onto the runway. Dead ahead. Safely taxiing. So I guess control-wise, on a typical controller, you've got your pitch and your roll on the left analog stick. I've got my rudder control here, which you can see on the back of the plane. If I use my triggers, I can adjust my rudder. I can raise and lower my flaps here. I can also do that in here using this lever here. I've got my trim. I can apply the brakes. And so you can see the runway dead ahead sort of stretches off to the southwest, to northeast there. You can take it any way you want. There's this kind of like rock cliff, this rock face there, over to the east, however. So I think the responsible call will be heading south, which should take us out towards the ocean. But then you've got Morton directly to the north, so we'll kind of loop around and then head that way. There's some flight planning features in here that maybe we'll cover another time, but you can also set a custom flight path. All right, here we are. Line this up. A little bit of a tip here is to use the rudder to stay on the runway. These aircraft naturally pull to the left, so you have to sort of compensate with the rudder during takeoff. I'm going to throttle all the way up. And pull back. See, I've set my trim to be a little bit nose high here, just to get some elevation. Then if you look just over the ridge here, you can see Morton right off the nose of the plane right now. Practice trim. See if we can't get it to fly level. The idea, I guess the broad idea with trim, as I understand it, is to be able to go hands off the flight stick, so you don't have to constantly kind of nudge the plane around. So you can turn this, kind of throttle down so you aren't going full tilt, and then use the trim to level the plane off. A little bit of a delay as you set it. You have to kind of watch the plane, kind of feel it out. But you don't want to be fighting the stick during each of these flights. Also got a little bit There's a lighthouse right down here. It's quite nice. We've got fire tower way over there in the distance. We fixed some of the issues. We used to have some issues with rendering some of our distant mountains as well. So we've got a good long view now. You can see almost to the other side of the island. Right. So we'll make our approach here into Morton. Nice long runway should be more than sufficient. The general idea is that you throttle down a bit, and you can use your flaps to slow down a bit more. I'm going to throttle way back. Not all the way back. I don't want to totally lose air control. I'll also pull my flaps, which will kind of make the nose start to move up, but you can sort of compensate with the stick here. We kind of bring it in nice and slow and hit the brakes. Nice. So you see I've got a landing fee to contend with, and I've got a bunch of information on my compass, as well as some updated tutorial objectives. I'll also check my phone here. Which I really shouldn't be on my phone. I should slow down a bit to taxiing speed. Still always room for improvement. We've got lessons for all experience levels at Red Shore Flight School. Hit the PC in the briefing hut. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna taxi over to the briefing hut. It's just on the starboard side of the plane once we get in towards these structures. There's also a maintenance hangar. Got a pilot hangar. Got fuel available. A couple of things of note off on the right-hand side here. You can see Morton also has it's a major airport. That's what we call a major airport here, which means there's fuel available and all of these kind of services that I was describing. Usually there's a maintenance hangar, a pilot hangar, that kind of thing. So we'll taxi over to the briefing hut now. She's now dead ahead. Beautiful day in Waking. Nice. All right, we'll shut this off. Yeah, get ramp checked often to ensure you aren't doing anything irresponsible. These will affect your reputation should you choose to fly contraband around or fly at night without a rating, that kind of thing. We've also, I suppose, it's noteworthy to say we've updated the manual here in the game to talk about kind of like high level things like cargo points, where you pick up cargo, photography, all sorts of little bits of information here, using the tow bar, using the phone, that kind of thing, which is sort of useful. Right, and so the next step here is flight school. I guess first things first, we will pay our landing fees. And can't accept any other jobs in the short term. I suppose that's the very first flight that you take in Deadstick. We should maybe do flight school in the next episode. We can go fuel up really quickly while we're here. And then pick up flight school maybe in the next one. Yeah, let's give that a go. Head right over here and fuel up. As you can see, we've burned a little bit. 37% now. Also, we're working on the balance between performance and graphics, and how things look. We've gone to, hopefully there's a noticeable difference from previous videos, especially in the distance and in the lighting. Some of the jaggies that I was getting before have been really cleaned up. Right. Let's fuel it up. Yeah, you can see the colors changed here a little bit since we're not quite as full. You can also see that when I add fuel to the tanks, that my center of gravity will adjust accordingly. But I think we'll be all right. I think we should probably fill it up here. Just do a quick refuel stop here at the end. Is that a reasonable price? Reasonable amount of money? Nice. All right, well, I think that will just about do it for this episode. I will be doing another one shortly where we cover flight school, some of the basic lessons, and the commercial license test, and we'll probably pick up right from this point. So yeah, and again, let me know if you want us to focus on anything in particular in these videos. I'm happy to walk around and show you where we're at with a lot of this stuff. But thanks for checking it out, and I will catch you next time. Later.